And welcome back to another video for Kerbal Space Program. Still building my base. Thought I'd show this. Been watching quite a few videos from Scott Manley. One was the Reddit challenge, where he used a orange fuel tank to gallivant around the galaxy. I thought that's a really neat idea, using the turbofans to send the tank pretty high up. So it's like, why can't I do that? So I made a flying bedstead, and that was a complete disaster. Kept breaking apart on me on ascent. So then it was like, well, why am I trying to send it up as a plane? Why not send it up as a rocket? So I built something else. Where is it? Main parts number 2. I took the standard main parts that I'd already sent up, stripped off all the rockets, and then made this when it decides to load. Again, still got all the textures and resolutions and whatnot set to absolute minimum, because this thing really slows down when I get into orbit and start doing space station operations. So then I created this. So we have 16 turbofans around the outside lower ring, and we have 8 nuclear rockets around the centre ring. All the uppers have air intakes as well as additional air intakes. There's no thrusters or anything on there, as well as additional air intakes. So basically each turbofan has 2 air intakes for each one. And then of course docking nose, some solar panels. There seems to be an interesting bug which I'm actually going to show you. I'm not quite sure whether it's a bug or what the hell it is. Someone can, well, I'd appreciate someone telling me. But we're going to launch this. I'm going to send up another one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the bug. So, yeah, I'm purposely going to crash. Oh, blooming heck, it's night time. Right. The bug is with the guidance, which is this one. There we go. And now I'll show you the turbofans. Right, if I start the turbofans now, that's a bit loud. Right, power starts to drop, we've got plenty of charge, so we're going to accelerate. And it's not done it on the pad, which is a good thing. Normally it does it on the pad if I do it that way. But anyway, so we're just running off the turbofans. Try recording again. So anyway, we're going up on the turbofans. As you can see, quite nicely. Going straight vertical at the moment. Just bear with me. So I've got up the status panels for one of the turbo jets and the remote guidance unit. As you can see, plenty of air intake coming in. and the engines are throttling up. Well, no. They're at maximum throttle, they're just spooling because of the speed. Right, now I'm going to bank this over. So it's about 45 degrees. The air intake is reducing, as you'd expect. And in a moment we'll get a flame out. There we go. And throttle back. Activate the RCS. Oh, we lost a section. Nuts. There we go. It's lost it. You can't actually see this, it's spinning around the screen, but if you pause the video, you'll notice it's giving me an error saying that it's offline due to poor electrical charge. And you can actually see in my resource status it's got plenty, and then it comes back again, and then half of it disappears, and then we're just tumbling. And it literally drains its own battery and then starts on the battery that we're taking up with it, which is the huge one, by the way. See, now it's slowing down. It says not enough electrical charge. Well, that's a load of crap, because we've got a huge battery and we can see there's plenty of electrical charge, so what the hell is it complaining about? Well, the problem is we're now screwed. I mean, we're screwed anyway because we've lost a chunk of thrusters, but it briefly comes back and then disappears again. So we can't throttle up. Okay, anyone know how to disable sticky keys in Windows 7? Please, drop me a message. I've been trying to disable it for ages. Playing Kerbal Space Program? Yeah, I hate it when it multitasks out. Okay, so now we're falling. 9,000. Still says not enough electrical charge. And yet the battery's there. And it's just falling down and down and down. I told you I did intentionally crash it. It will not recover. It won't let me stage. It won't let me throttle. Oh, there we go. Now it's cycling between operational and not enough electrical charge. Will it stabilise itself? Nope. We're in a flat spin. See if I can recover it. Head for the sky. Oh, I think I'm just going to be able to recover it before it hits the water. Oh no, it's gone too far. Trying to aim for the direction that it is actually moving in, and it won't let me do it. The entire guidance system is quite... Oh. Yes, no. The entire thing is so upset, you'll basically end up crashing. it doesn't help that these engines like to flap around at doing these sorts of manoeuvres. It's all because there's now no airflow over the fins. Okay, back with you again. And this thing's just aimlessly spinning around and around and around. So let's see if we can get it going in a straight line. Stage. That's better. So without the turbofans on, it's reasonably stable. But of course now, for some reason, oh no, it's behaving. The only problem is, I'm not entirely sure we actually have... Oh yeah, we're going up. But we don't have any liquid fuel left, so we're screwed. So let's go and revert back to launch. Okie dokie. Right, so we want to get to the space station. Strangely enough, it's just past us. That's fine by me. I can still catch up. Watch this. Throttle up. Engage SAS. Go. Now, yes, I've been practicing flying this thing for quite a few attempts. Disastrous attempts, which I probably should have videoed, but having issues with free space on my drive that I use to record Fraps videos on. It's kind of just one of those things. I need to remember more often to upload the finished videos to YouTube, then I can remove them from the drive. And yes, they get compressed from Fraps, because if you record from Fraps, they are huge. I think there was one video, I think it was the last video, that you saw me do all the docking manoeuvres and shufty stuff around and rescues and whatnot. That was like 100 gig that Fraps recorded it at. Right, halfway through the light blue, so let's pitch over to about 45 degrees. Going up to the edge of blue, so we pitch over to about 20 degrees. Again, SAS is quite happy to oblige at this point. Surface speed is increasing nicely. Air intake is still well above 50%. Take a look at specs from one of the engines. Yeah, it's spooling up and going nuts. volume up a touch. And here we have some heating effects. Come on, a bit higher, a little bit higher. At this point we're running 5-6 frames per second. This bit's really killing it. Going up for 1000 meters per second, air to intake is still good. Over 1000 meters per second, prepping to activate nuclear rockets. Air intake at 1, activating nuclear rockets. Prepping to stage turbofans. And stage. I see great big explosions with heating effects all over the place. Now if I hadn't have turned the textures down, that would have just froze straight up. So now that we're on the nuclear rockets, we need to raise our apogee pretty quick. So let's stick it on the 45-degree mark and take a look at how we're doing. We're approaching 1300 meters per second, and we're making a nice wide apogee, which is absolutely fine because the station that we want to dock with is over here. We're looking at docking sort of around the other side, around there somewhere, by the time we swing out. This does of course mean that we end up with a ton of oxidizer left over. Oh well. Now you'll also note that we do have an inclination difference, which is fine, we'll correct that later. Once we're outside the atmosphere we can start correcting orbits. So 1800. Right, our apogee is above the atmosphere, so we're now going to pitch over just below our path, about there, about 5 degrees above horizon. As you can see, that's causing us to bulge out on our orbit over here. Throttle down. to the point where we get an interception, which is right about there. So first of all, you'll say you are 366 kilometers away from it. That's not an issue. Right, we're 100 kilometers up. So now we swing around. And we point this right at the planet. Come on. And then we burn. This now circularizes the backside of our orbit, which prevents us from slowing down. But I don't just want to do that. Oops, crap, that's the wrong way. So if we now burn like this, we're then adding speed to our orbit. Wait for the red tags, or the purple ones. Okay, so this time we don't get any. Why don't we get any? Because we haven't crossed it yet. Oh, we're way off on that. Okay, let's go and correct it. I think as soon as I am able, I do believe I need to correct the inclination of my station. That's going to be fun. Step 1 in correcting the inclination. Now we need to do the time warp. Now you need to note that this view isn't giving us an interception at this point. Which is fine, that's not an issue. I'm going to activate the RCS. This is like really sluggish. Right, now we're going to point south. Right on the horizon. Wait for our node. Yeah, we're burning a touch early. And still no interception according to this. could actually be right. Okay, doesn't want to give us the closest point. That's fine by me. There we go. Just a touch off, you stupid ass. 58.1 kilometres. If we burn that, we burn too much. So what's it actually saying? Now, I could play around with nodes here, but sometimes it's better to go off your gut. Oh, it's not bad. And that's increasing it, which is odd. Okay. And somehow I managed to rotate slightly. That's better. So we're pointing about 10 degrees after straight down, which is increasing our orbit speed. But because we're also pointing straight down, we are moving our apogee further round in the terms of the orbit, which is allowing us to maintain speed and thus catch the station. The annoying thing there is I think we've actually got an issue. So switch to 45. There we go. Kilometers. Anything inside 10 kilometers is RCS range. You can probably do it in further 20 kilometers. But we're only burning ever so slightly at this point. Kilometers. Oh, and then we get an interesting divergence, which is really annoying when that happens. It confuses the crap out of everyone. Three, two, one. Right, at 1 kilometre, don't bother getting any more accurate, because you've got to circularise your orbit, etc. I had one last week before, where it showed 0.1 kilometre. Yeah, I missed the station barely while braking. Let's put it that way. I was probably like 10 meters from one of the modules. So you don't want to get too accurate just in case. So at this point we do the time warp. Our nav ball has indeed changed to target mode. As soon as we approach this node, oh, and there we go, it's just loaded the space station, and our frame rate drops to 6 frames per second. So at this point, if we switch to chase view, you can see the space station and you can see us fly right past it. Darn it, that's the wrong one. As I said, there's no point in being too accurate. Just killed most of our speed. Let's burn straight for the station. We're at 1.9 kilometers, so we don't want to go too fast. 10 meters per second, wonderful. Oh, we've got RCS on. So, let's move our course. I'm going to head straight for it because even in less than 2 kilometers from the station at 10 meters per second, we will drift a touch. And there we go. Yes, I am aware that the RCS is not exactly even in this configuration. So right now it's running at between 5 and 7 frames per second. Which kind of isn't good. What's slowing it down, according to my readout on my other monitor, what's slowing it down is the graphics card. Because of all the textures and modelling and whatnot. Which is why I turned all the graphics down to start the game. As you can see by the nav ball at the bottom, or the 8 ball, whatever you want to call it, we have drifted to the left a touch, which is entirely expected. Right, approaching 1 kilometre. So we realign our trajectory with the target. There's a very good reason for that. Right, we are pretty much stable, so as to off and start spinning. And yes, there's a reason why we're spinning. I wonder how many people can work it out before I actually do it. And stage. Pretty! Reactivate SAS. Which of course now responds beautifully. Approaching 500 meters. So let's zoom out, see if we can see him. Still flying well away from the station. Hit the brakes, kill our forward momentum. Three meters per second. We've got plenty of charge. Fuel is, what, a quarter? Which isn't bad. Certainly more than my other method of getting up here anyway. With all the SRBs and whatnot. Right, so let's go and correct the trajectory. At this lower speed and with not so much weight on the rear, it's actually easier to manoeuvre. A lot easier to manoeuvre. We also have to pick our parking spot, which thrust down a touch. What we don't want to do is to come in too close to the main sort of corridor and bump anything else while we turn. Do 200 meters. Yeah, definitely need to do something about the debris. So slow down a touch more now. Two meters per second. Simple reason being that we have to align to the docking port. And you could just throw it in whichever way you wanted, but that's just no fun. And yes, we're going in nose first. You can see the other module there that we're coming up underneath of. Right, I think we've got plenty of clearance, so we can move our trajectory in line with our nose. Well, just a touch above. You know, I very gingerly rotated the station to try and make it easier for docking. I think I've rotated it the wrong way because I can't see the docking ports. Okay, I think the one that I want is on the opposite side of that tank. So I'm just going to thrust to the left. A touch. Just a touch. There it is. That one right next to it. Set as target. Right, at this point we are completely ignoring the picture up, so we need to align to the docking port. So we're using both rotation and slew. Stop it. It's too far. Now we're aligning our rotation with the station. Have I bumped that damn station again? Why does it look like I bumped it? So a quick visual alignment. And now we're back to the 8 ball. This is where we have to be incredibly careful, because we're going to be docking alongside another one of these, and what we don't want to do is bump it. So let's switch to fine adjustment. Now, when we are coming into dock, we have to be extremely careful. This is quite a heavy piece to dock, and if we slam into it too hard, we may well break the station, which is not a good thing, because that would then ruin all our hard work. So take it easy. And also, both of these things have a general tendency to bounce and shift around a little bit. So when you're coming in, give yourself plenty of room for it to stop jiggling about. Right, so at the moment, coming at point 4, we want half that. Don't recommend docking anything faster than point 2 if it's a big module. Now we do have a slight nose down attitude into the dock, which is fine. Let's kill forward. and then align our trajectories. And then turn off SAS. Right, and you can enjoy the view. Check the 8 ball, yeah, all aligned. Definitely need some more lights up here. And what I like to do is, we're just about to dock, so spill off some of the forward and drop it to 0.1. There we go. Sometimes it may need a little bit of assistance. These magnetic docking ports are pretty wicked. And hey presto. And we're down to 4 frames per second now. 3 frames per second. Not a good thing. But there we go. Now the only problem with engaging SAS on this station is that it has a general tendency to start shimmying. And then it starts flexing like buggery. Well, it looks like it's behaving at the moment. Right, and that's 2 modules done. So from this, we're going to do a transfer. Why? Because we don't want that module anymore. Now the interesting thing is, while you're transferring fuel around the station, your view also changes. I think the camera view goes off the centre of mass rather than the actual physical dimension centres. What's in that? Nothing in that. What's in that? Nothing in that. Mono prop in there. What's the SAS? What's in this one? It's a battery. Remote guidance. So we've got 4 large tanks up there. But that one and that one need to go. But I need to salvage the engines off there, moving around to one of these. What else do I need to salvage? Oh yeah, the nose and the crew accommodation need to remain. On this one, those 3 modules can stay. They've all got docking clamps on them. But this module here needs to go, because I want it more like this one and them. Then spare fuel tank. I think I'm just going to ditch it. Oh, of course, I need to get rid of that solar panel array because it's got the wrong type of solar panels on. And I need to fetch up 2 more, one for each end. But I'm getting there. And then I need to look at crew accommodations and whatnot. So, 2 more of these to come up. And then the whole thing needs to be fueled. It's going to be fun. And then we have some sort of lander, powered lander, which if you remember, I created one, but there are issues with the docking ports. Basically I screwed up and put the docking port the wrong way around. So I need to fetch that up again, but I'll be making a few mods to it as well. So, building a huge platform in space. What is the idea of it? Simple. We take the entire platform out to another planet, drop down a rover, drive around, bring the rover back up, bring the entire platform back. Sounds simple. Oh, that reminds me. While I think about it, I'm CW and crash hard.